Now, this is a really interesting question, and there are a couple of things to consider here. Now, the first thing is, if your employer asks you to attend an occupational health appointment or have an assessment by occupational health, and you don't wish to do so, then it's important to have a look at what it says in your contractual terms, so your employment contract or any other document that contains your terms of employment. Now, it may be that your employer reserves the right contractually to refer you for a medical in the event that you're off sick. Now, if there is a contractual right to do so and you refuse, then it may be reasonable for your employer to proceed with a disciplinary on the basis that you failed to follow a reasonable instruction. Now, it does very much depend on what the reasons are for your refusal to engage with occupational health. And certainly if I were advising your employer and they did have a contractual right to ask for a medical report and you refused, I wouldn't advise them to go down the route of disciplinary or any other action, but rather I'd try to engage in a discussion with you to find out exactly what the issue is, and obviously to explain the reason why your employer wants you to have the occupational health assessment. Now, whether or not there is a contractual obligation on you to do so or a right for your employer to request, if you refuse occupational health and you continue to remain off sick, then it is possible that your employer could reasonably make a decision about your future employment without having had the benefit of medical advice. Now, the purpose of obtaining an occupational health report is to have an assessment by someone who is experienced in this about an understanding of when you're likely to return to work and things that your employer can do to help you. And if you have refused to have an occupational health report, then it may be that your employer proceeds down their absence management or capability process to terminate your employment, and they would be able to say justifiably to an employment tribunal, if you were to pursue a claim, that they tried to get medical advice to assist them in making their decision, but that you had refused. So I would think very carefully about your reasons for refusal and try to engage with your employer to ascertain exactly why they want you to have that assessment in the first place. And of course, if you still have concerns, then I recommend you seek some advice.